Good evening, it's your man the Bandit again. 1st of August, we enter a new month on top form as ever. This is going to be quite a laid back episode. We've got the other Bandit on the end of the phone. Can you hear us, Mr. Bandit?
Yes, can hear you well.
Can hear you loud and clear. Like I said, it's going to be quite a chilled episode for those of you that like a bit of a longer session. We're going to talk quite a lot of horses. Bandit normally gets straight into it, but on this episode, we're just going to give you a bit more of an introduction to where we came from with betting on Cheltenham. Now, Mr. Bandit, we worked out we've been in profit since 2016, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. The first time I went to Cheltenham was 2016, and went down with a really good kind of tip, which I got off the TV, and it was Skelton's horse. And there was an interview with Dan Skelton, and he was really bullish about this horse.
Superb story, wasn't it, Mr. Bandit?
Superb story, and we had a good bet with the bootmakers, and it made our Cheltenham that day.
Well, we did, didn't we? I mean, you can see on the screen here, folks, it was 2016. It absolutely romped in the county hurdle for us. And it was that year we signed up a load of accounts. We weren't documenting our bets then on spreadsheets. We signed a load of accounts up. We hammered the free offers while we were going to Cheltenham. And we realised, Mr. Bandit, with a bit of spread betting, we were up, weren't we? You know, we were booming. Now, what actually happened with Superb Story, and the Bandits, the bookies have got a bit more wise since, I'd say. There's a lot more offers, but some offers aren't as good as you think. And what happened with Superb Story, as we're waltzing into Cheltenham, there's folk from Coral, women, dressed up in Coral signs. Judge a free bet, because we were early, weren't we? Thought, have a good look round. And I must have got about 15, 16 £5 free bets. And I'm picking them up off floors, we're walking, we're dropping them. And I says, there's a 16-digit code, wasn't it, you had to put in? I thought, only one of them will go through, like, you'll do one, then it'll say, everyone went through on my account. So I'm sat there, in corner, on floor, typing all these codes in, and we put all of it, and I think we had about 14-1, didn't we? Got backed into about 8, so it was 8-1. So we did an absolute crack, superb story, superb day, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I think that set us up for the year after, doing a lot more bookies in everyone's name, my mum, my wife, our names. And we were spread betting 2017, 2018. I reckon it's only 2020 when COVID hit where we started doing it, documenting it, writing it in a book and documenting it on a spreadsheet exactly what we were putting on, weren't we? But we'd had a few good years because we had hammered all the opening offers, you know, put 5 on, get 30 quid free, and it was all free bets close to the time when you weren't getting non-runners. So I think that set us up for trying to get a system going then, Mr. Bandit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
You've got quite a few do's and don'ts, haven't you, for the punters out there?
I've come with a few do's, well, not many, just a few do's and don'ts, which the do's are obviously spread bet. You have to spread bet at Cheltenham.
With the bookies money.
The bookies money. If you can, use the bookies money. Don't use your own.
All you need, folks, is a couple of rodneys. You know, if your Maud's got an iPhone, get her set up on bookies. Get your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, get them set up. Sometimes you can use your own bank account. If you've got a few bank accounts and you just put the same surname, you don't put the first initial, and you go through different email account you need to have with each account. But that's definitely been the way to do it, Mr. Bandit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And what you find...
The other one,
I'll just interrupt you 1 second, Mr. Bandit. What you find when you've got these 4 accounts, okay, you've hammered the opening offers, which I advise everyone to do, especially as you get close to Cheltenham. Once you've got them, you're getting free spins on them all. And sometimes they just give you a free bet for no reason. Well, you're getting it times 4 or 5 if you've got 4 or 5 accounts.
The other one, which Milano doesn't quite get it yet, is realistic bets. It helps a lot if your bets are realistic. When you bet back in on an Hail Mary.
Well, it does, Mr. Bandit, but that's where I'll disagree with you. yes, you've got to have your £10 doubles, what return £100 with 2 horses. But all the punters, Mr. Bandit, all the punters want to pay the mortgage off. They've got to have the Fairyland bets just because you've not got a mortgage anymore, Mr. Bandit. That's what it's all about. You've got to have the odd 10 bob bet to pay your mortgage off, I say. You've got to have a bit of enjoyment.
Yeah, me don't. I've got one don't, that's all. And it's the big handicaps, leave them alone. Don't touch the big handicaps. If you want to bet on the big handicaps, wait, and it's usually about January when you get no run.
No run, no bet, yep.
No run, no bet.
So you heard it there from the Bandit. Wait till it's no run, no bet on the big handicaps. So you might find when you spread betting at this time of year, you're doing the same races with the same horses, but you're mixing them up a bit. That's what it's all about. Hammer the same horses in a couple of different races, which you know are going to run at Cheltenham more or less. Some of them you'll know what race they're going in, others it might be 1 or 2 races, but that's the advice from the Bandit. Spread bet with the bookies' money, leave the big handicaps till non-run no bet, gamble responsibly. No, Mr. Bandit, we've had your do's and don'ts. We've got on screen here, which you can't see, which the punters can, with £1,313 on to return 3.3 million. What we don't know is what's in the Bandit's book. This is what everyone's watching for. They want to know what's in the Bandit's book. So, we reckoned about £1,400 last time in the Bandit's book. What the Bandit's going to do for you in a minute, he's going to talk through his best horses from day one of the festival from his book. Obviously can't see him on screen because it's all, as you've seen, written in some sort of doctor's writing. But I'm going to hand over to the Bandit to talk you through his day one horses. A little bit of inspiration for some of you out there. So, Mr. Bandit, over to you.
Well, day one, obviously, first race, Supreme. I'm going for a Dream to Share. I've got it with Dream to Share with 30 horses of the meeting, which consists of Constitutional, Lossymouth, Ballyburn, It's For Me, The Nice Guy.
So this is a Dream to Share, the John Keeley trained horse owned by JP McManus. Just get it on screen here, Mr. Bandit. Your course out there. I didn't think you was talking about this horse today. So 5 wins out of 5 on the national circuit under rules. Won at Cheltenham last year, beat Fat to File by 1 1/4 lengths, didn't it? So we're reckoning the Supreme, are we, Mr. Bandit?
Yeah, I think there's horses ducking and diving to stay away from a Dream to Share. I think when the Supreme comes out, I don't think there'll be that many runners.
So,
Ballymore.
In the betting for the Supreme at the minute, you've got Tulliel and Fact to File in the betting, and it's beat both of those 2 horses. So the next 2 in the betting, or 3 and 4 in the betting, it has beat them, hasn't it? So that's why you think it's a good thing, is it, Mr. Bandit?
Yeah. I think most of them will go with the Ballymore. The Ballymore will be an hard race because they'll skip that, hit the Ballymore.
We've had 1 or 2 comments on the Bandits YouTube channel saying avoid Dream to Share. Bumper horses from last year don't have a good record in Supreme, but judged on the next couple of in the betting, Fact to File and Tulliel, I think the Bandit might have a bit of a case there for Dream to Share.
Well, our friend is the bumper horses are horses to follow.
Right, you heard it from the Bandit. Bandit's own mouth, there you go.
The second race, as everybody knows who listens, I think Constance Chanel will go for the Arkle. So I've got 32 bets going on that with different horses.
This is all in the Bandit's boot, yeah.
Varying from 11 to 4 early doors to 7 to 4, 2 to 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to split opinion, this, Mr. Bandit, because we've had a lot of commenters to the show saying it's going to be going for the champion hurdle again. I've no doubt it would win the champion. Why are you so convinced it's going to go for the Arkle?
Because I'm a big fan of Nicky Henderson. That's the way Nicky normally goes. He wants Constitutional to be a chaser. That's his long-term plan. As soon as he gets into chasing, that's what he's after.
Will Michael Buckley let him do that, though? Will Mr. Buckley let him do it? We'll find out soon enough when the season starts. It probably depends how well it runs in its first race, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mr. Buckley, well, that's the gamble himself, you know. He doesn't like going for the straightforward, easy thing, which will be the hurdle race.
Right, well, there you go. You've got it from the Bandit. Get on it with the bookies money. Have it in both, I'd say. Get it in some yanks on the champion hurdle. But Arkle for Constitution Hill from the Bandit. What's your next race, Mr. Bandit?
Right, my next race is the champion hurdle.
Yep.
Which I've got 2 horses going in this one. I've got Imper and Pass. I've got 21 bets on that. And I've also got 21 bets on your horse.
State man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a bit of a summary though. You've Imper Pass, Willie Mullins trained horse. It's never lost, this horse. So you're talking about an horse what's unbeaten. Won at Cheltenham, beat Gaelic Warrior last year, which obviously Gaelic Warrior's now being fancied for the stays and races like that. So Imper Pass, will it go for that race? Not too sure. Your man State Man, I mean, this is a quality horse, and you're talking about an horse here what has been beaten by 9 lengths. I mean, how often do you say an horse beaten by 9 lengths a quality horse? That shows what an absolute beast Constitution Hill is. But yeah, obviously responded in at Punchestown to beat Vauban by 3 lengths, did State Man. Again, William Mullins trained horse. I think this is a class act. I think this will be going for the champion hurdle. But there's 2 very good horses there. If Imper Pass goes that route, it's going to be a heck of a race. So get on them both with the Bandit, with the bookies money. Bet responsibly. Anything else on State Man, Mr. Bandit? And
the champion hurdle, it's very interesting to see if Constitution Hill does go for the champion hurdle, what Imper Pass and State Man do. Will they avoid the champion hurdle, or will they go against Constitution Hill?
I think
very interesting.
I think that's why it's a good case to have Imper Pass, because if you have Imper Pass, I think that's going to go up against Constitution Hill myself. I think it's got a good chance of going for that race. State Man's already been trounced by it, so State Man might go another route. I think it's worth having State Man in a couple of different races. Imper Pass, if you've got it for the champion hurdle and Constitution Hill doesn't run, you've got a heck of a prize. But even if Constitution Hill does run, we've seen it before with Gallop in the Shops. We've seen it with Ruby Walsh on your favourite horse. I don't want to mention it for you, Mr. Bandit. But anything can happen. A horse can fall. Imper Pass could still go in even if Constitution Hill runs. So get them in a few different races. But yeah, Imper Pass probably a good shout though, Mr. Bandit.
Yeah.
Was it Annie Power? Was it?
Oh, Annie Power. Yeah. I'll never forget Annie Power.
What happened to you there, Mr. Bandit?
Pardon?
What happened?
It did make quite a few pounds.
A few pence, so it's not like you only have a few pence. Pounds. £3 was it?
Good few pounds.
Was it? Oh God, I think it did most people watching the show, to be honest. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Your next race, Mr. Bandit?
Well, this is my last race of the day, and it's the National Hunt Chase. I've got 2 horses in this race. One which I've got 17 bets on. The other one I'm just starting to have a flutter on. The first one is the Nice Guy.
The Nice Guy. Willie Mullins trained owned by Mr. Denmark, Malcolm Denmark. There we go.
It was 2 years ago it won at Cheltenham, and I thought it was going to be a top horse, and then I don't know if he got an injury last year or something, and it didn't run. Yeah,
it ran at Punch. I've got it up on screen here. So it won in 2022 at Cheltenham. Beat Minella Kakuna by 5 lengths. I remember having quite a bit of money on Minella Kakuna myself that year. It did run in April. Oh, it ran in April the same year, so 2022. So it didn't run at all last year. So by the looks of it, I think there was some sort of injury.
If memory serves me right, that year I got Stay Away Fair from watching a preview show. That's where I got on to Stay Away Fair.
What, you got Stay Away Fair in 2022 for a preview show, which won... was it the Brian Advisory it won last year, Stay Away Fair?
Not sure. I couldn't say offhand, but I know about it last year. Yeah, it's getting good price to Stay Away Fair. You can get 22 on it.
Yep.
Betfair, 22 on. Betfair, yes, still get 22 on Betfair on the Stay Away Fair.
So,
yep.
Out of the 2, which one do you find? It was the Albert Bartlett, sorry, that it won last year. It won the Albert Bartlett. So for the national hunt, you're saying stay away from the nice guy. Which one would you have most money on?
Well, I think the nice guy. I think it's a real class horse, the nice guy. Stay away from the last one. The nice guy as well. I think soft spot for that.
The nice guy for the national. We had a good time in the national last year, didn't we? It was actually one of our surprise bets because it was one of those unassuming. We'd quite a lot of bets on it. We didn't realise how much we'd accumulated on it. What won the national last year? We had a real good win on it, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think I'll get any bets for this year. National Hunt 2023. I can think. Yeah, off the top of my tips here. Should have been prepared, shouldn't we, Mr. Bandit? National 23 winner. With quite a lot, 20%. With a lot going on that. Gala de Menil, that's it. Gala de Menil. Patrick Mullins, horse. We'd a load on that last year. About 12 to 1, haven't we, on it, I think? So yeah, I've not seen that in the betting this year, I must admit.
No, I've not seen it so much this year.
I've not seen it in much betting, so that's what we're going to keep our eyes peeled for that. I don't know where it's going to end up this year. You have to do a bit of a recce on that because that won really well as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Always helps when you've got quite a bit of money on it. So we've done day one with your top tips. I mean, just while we're on and we're having a bit of a summary on, what the bandits do. They look for horses, one or two. We hammer a lot of horses, but we tend to stick to the same ones. But the one horse that I've really hammered and I'm going to continue banging on about, and I hope I'm able to say in April, who got on it with the bandit is Marie's Rock. I mean, you're talking about an horse in Marie's Rock what's got Cheltenham form. It has won at Cheltenham. It's won a couple of times at Cheltenham, actually. Got it on screen there for you. And in this race at Aintree, it was I know Cider Burley, it was a class horse, won the race, but it was almost travelling too well. And Nico probably didn't. I think he'd ride it slightly different if he was riding it again. I've got the race up here. It's obviously, he's travelled strong in the midfield, going best when led after 2 out. It got heading and it soon ridden and held. It stayed on still, although it won, but it lost a shoe. Lost her left hand shoe, so it was absolutely cruising. Lost the left hand shoe and it got headed 2 out. I think if he'd have pushed it a bit earlier on, even though it lost a shoe, it would have won. But that's what happened there. I can't believe the odds on it 16 to 1 if you watch that race back. So the bandit's going to keep banging on about Marie's Rock for the stayers. Still 16 to 1, which I think is a cracking price. Although I have got 25s when I first started backing it. So the next horse that I'm going to quickly talk about before we have a bit more of a little summary on the spreadsheet is Jerry Colombe. I know I'm going a bit. This is what I do. I go a bit back to front. Bandit. The bandits they've been talking about day 1. I'm on about day 4 here, day 5. Stays from Marie's Rock and Jerry Colombe for the Gold Cup. I've watched it back last year when it nearly caught the real whacker, but I've never. Well, I have. I've seen a few, but very rare have I seen an horse run up that hill as fast and with as much momentum as Jerry Colombe run up the Cheltenham Hill, and another 5 yards it would have won the race. So that horse stayed on really well last year, and I think it's got a great chance for the Gold Cup. I think Galloping to Champ might be one of those horses. What as superb as it was, it could fade away. That could be it. It's peaked. It has been beaten since winning the Gold Cup. It looked unbeatable the year before when it fell. I don't think I was too impressed with how it won the Gold Cup. Didn't really. Obviously, it won. Winning's a win, but I think Jerry Colombe might be good value for the Gold Cup at sort of 8 to 1, 10 to 1, which you can get at the minute. So yeah, there's a few things from the bandits. Any more hints and tips for the people that are listening, Mr. Bandit?
On day 1, let's have a look. Just have to go back through.
While he's looking there, I'll just have a listen. While the bandit's in his book, while I've got the spreadsheet on for people to see, the first horse that the bandit talked about, A Dream to Share, this is obviously he's in his book. We've got, how much do you think we've got on A Dream to Share, Mr. Bandit? See how much of an idea you've got.
Me and you?
How much do you think we've got on A Dream to Share so far?
I should imagine about 100.
162. We started off getting 7-1. Now down at 4-1, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at my book now, and I don't know what price it is now, but I've got a couple of bets here at the Supreme. Only got 2 bets. For Ballyburn for the Supreme. On the 28th for the third, I got 14-1. I don't know what price it is now for the Supreme.
Yeah, I think it's about 12, something like that.
About 12,
I thought you was got to do me then, like you normally do in Say a Dream to Share, that you've got some silly odds on that.
I can do you if you want me to do you.
On your own bets.
You want me to do you now?
Well, yeah, you can do us live on the series here.
A bet here. I just quickly glanced at Gold Cup when you mentioned it. Jerry Colon for the Gold Cup. Now, I backed on the 14th of the 4th, 14th of April, and it won, but I coupled it with the Gold Cup. And I got 25-1 of a £5 and 25-1, 130 quid.
There you go. Anyway, that's the sickener for this episode. But yeah, we've got a little bit of a dream to share here. Pound bets, £10 bets. What's that? Here's a good £10 bet. 7-1 a dream to share. With Galloping Deschamps for the Golf Club and Constitutional for the Champion Hurdle. So if it does go in the Champion Hurdle, we've got a good £10 treble there. I'm free. I said they're free fancied horses, aren't they? You know, Galloping, Constitutional, Dream to Share. £10 returns, 300 quid on that bet we had. But as you can see, we've then got a Dream to Share and Constitutional for the Arkle. So it's all about the spread betting. Hopefully some of you might be pausing the screen, looking at some of these bets, copying a few of them. But yeah, we've got quite a lot of... I'll just pause there so you can copy them down if anyone's watching and copying bets down. But that's how the Bandit does it. So if we're Dream to Share that you talked about, Mr. Bandit, you've... let's have a look at these nice guy ones. We've not got a load. We've got what? We've got 1, 2... we've got 5 bets on the nice guy. This could be another Gallard de Menel if it runs this. You know, if it is back to where it were before, it didn't run last year. This will be one watching out for. What I'd advise with an horse like this, if it comes out before Cheltenham, if it wins, get some bets on the day it wins. Have a pot of money or a pot of free bets, and if you know this horse is running, it normally takes the bookies a few hours to change the ante-post odds. If this runs in November, October, and it romps in, get some bets on it for the national hunt, because we've got it for the national. It's a shame I've not wrote the price for some reason. I think it's about 12-1, isn't it? We've got it in a £5. I mean, we might have it in other places, but this is on its own tab. We might have it on some of the other tabs, but we've got it with a Dream to Share here. £5 double for 370. We've got it with Cornhill for the Arkle for 200 quid. Imperi Pass for the Champion Hurdle for 445. We've talked about Imperi Pass. We've got it in a double with Lossiemouth, 333. And a double with Ballyburn for the Ballymore. And this is what it's all about. You get one horse in, and then you've loads of bets going then. You almost don't need... I think the reason we started doing this is we don't need a bet when we're at Cheltenham, do we? What is it what you have, that little boot, what you call it? The Bandits what? The Bandits mini boot?
A little mini boot which I take with me. I just flick it up. I've got it in my hand here, so I'll try and get last...
I call it the Bandits Sickener.
Last year. The Gold Cup last year, I think it's last year's this one. Protectorate, if it wins 642, Startler £20, Galloping Deschamps 565, a postcard 882, and a house in your eye 124.
And that's how you build up through the... And we had... It was quite a poor year. Although we was up last year, I think we worked out between us on our... We were 1,500 up on our joint bets. If Facile Vega and John Bon would have won, we're talking 35 grand plus, aren't we? So it really was a poor... And we still had races. Lossiemouth, we won about 800 quid on Lossiemouth, didn't we? We still had races on the Thursday and the Friday with stuff going on. But if Facile and John Bon would have won, we really would have had... But that's what it's about. One year we'll catch it big. But we've had 6 years of profitable Cheltenhams. I think we've got better at it. We started off, we do a lot of doubles now. What you do when you ante-post, one horse lets you down, your bet's gone. So we sort of wasted a lot of bets on trebles. We still do a few trebles with pounds, but with our big bets, like our tenners, we tend to do it like, here we've got Facile Vega and John Bon on screen, £10 double. So we fine-tuned it a little bit. We make every penny count to the book, especially when the bookie's giving you money. They give you money for one reason only, to hook you in, and they don't like it when you're doing the ante-post. We've been banned from that many places. There's only one bookie what's banned us and not give us access to our money, and I'll call them out actually. Betway. Stay away from Betway. Other bookies have had the courtesy to give us the money they've won before they've kicked us out the door. Not with Betway. Even went to IBAS, the International Betting Authority, still couldn't get us money. So there you go. But yeah, we've like I said, we've fine-tuned what we do. 6 profitable Cheltenhams. This year, I think we've got as much on this year as we had on in 2021. I think last year we're just short of $3,000 on. Now, I know we're not really, but we hammer it a bit close to time. We're a bit far out yet. We really ramp up. What Corals do, and at the minute it's not that good. You can buy a bet bundle with Corals. I think it's £2 to get £5 free, so you're £3 up, or £5 to get a tenner free. You can do both. You can buy one of each on a Saturday. And nearer the time, they let you do a lot of ante-post bets with them. At the minute, I think you could only, if you bought a £10 bundle, only £2 of it you can put on ante-post. Well, you're losing out then. They're making you then bet on silly things. But when we were buying them bundles, we were spending a £5 and getting like £8, weren't we? For Cheltenham. And then we had a £2 free bet, what you had to use on the Saturday, which we were using and trying to get a bit of his money back. So we really hammered Coral towards the end of last year. Hopefully they do the same thing this year. The Bandit will be keeping you updated on the best offers. But tell us, Mr. Bandit, about the insurance bets that you started on William Hill. Now they've stopped the insurance, whether it's just for us, they've sussed us out, but we're now doing it on Boyle. Similar sort of system, but it's better on Boyle actually. Tell them about it and tell them why it's better on Boyle than William Hill.
Yeah, well, it's better on Boyle because they give you a free £5 bet for every £5 insurance bets you put on.
So put £5 insurance on, and you're guaranteed a £5 bet. Yeah.
The thing, this is good information. The thing we've found, when the football's finished, which it has, is we log into the tennis and we do 5 odds-ons at tennis. So we get about.
Well, you've got. I think the rules are you've got to have your bet's got to be 3-1 or more.
3-1 or more.
And you've got to have 5 selections in to insure it. So we make sure we get to 3-1. We have put 10 on win 3, put 7 on win 2, maybe at 1 put 2 on to win 2-1 on to get you to your 3-1. But you want all 5 in, but you get 4 and you get a free bet, yeah.
Yeah, and we're doing well. We've got more money now than when we started.
I think on that system, I mean, you'll notice here we are £49 down. We've done a few things, put money in on a few things to get us going, but on them particular insurance bets, we started off with £30, didn't we? Started off with £30 on William Hill, which we've had to transfer. I think what's in your account at the minute, is it 150?
150
in your Boyle Sport. So we're actually £120 up on that system. I'm trying to think what we wasted. I think Virgin Bet we wasted a bit of money on, didn't we? That's where we've sort of been caught out. I think I got £30 in my Boyle because we started a little kitty the other week in mine when we had to put £20 in, which is why it's showing you 180 here. There's 150 in yours, 30 in mine. Wasted a bit with Virgin Bet, to be fair. But overall, we're £49 down. But for that, we've got £960 in free bets, which we can't grumble at, can we? So yeah, you do the tennis on Boyle, don't you? 5 selections.
Tennis, I find it quite profitable, tennis.
And that's what's been giving us our top of the par free bets in it when one loses and whatnot.
Yeah. The other one, which Mark is banned out over there now, is Betfair.
The Bandit, you mean? The Bandit's banned out of Betfair, is he?
Yeah, you're banned out of Betfair, but I'm not. So.
Well, for a minute you were. I think you signed up in my sister's name, aren't you, your daughter?
Oh yeah. I was.
5 accounts we've gone through with Betfair and got banned off them all.
But what they're doing now, they keep twinkling with it. But what they're doing now is you put £5 on, you get £5 in free bets. So what I do is So I'm horse racing. I'll pick 5 horses. Don't make even money, and I do doubles. I don't do anything else but doubles. And that I added to Cheltenham, and I've still got £120 in the account from Cheltenham. I've not put a penny in, but I've had all the free bets out.
That's what it's all about, folks. Getting the free bets. Now, before we go, Mr. Bandit, because the one difference of opinion we have, I don't waste a penny. It all goes on Cheltenham. But I like to have, like most punters out there, that fantasy land. In fact, I know the lad who won the ITV7 fantasy land stuff. You've got to have. That's what gets the punters going, Mr. Bandit. I'm going to talk you over some of my ones now. Get your opinion on them. But you've got to have those few big bets, Mr. Bandit, to pay your mortgage off. So, I'll talk over one here. Tell us what you think. This is... I've just gone on a couple of random ones. This is to return 14 grand, just short of 14 grand, right? 27 pence, Mr. Bandit. Marine National for the Arkle, Energamine for the Queen Mother, Elfab for the Ryanair, Galloping for the Gold Cup, Factor 5 for the Supreme, and Hermes Allen for the Brown. Is it going to happen?
Slight chance.
Slight chance. There you go. We're going to say no then.
They're not without a chance, but yeah.
Now, got one here. £1 to return 6 grand. Constitutional for the Champion Hurdle. Galloping the Shop for the Gold Cup. Marine National for the Arkle. Marie's Rock for the Stayers and Factor 5 for the Supreme.
No chance.
No chance. Absolutely no chance. There you go. You heard it from the Bandit. We've got another £1 for 23 grand. Elfab for the Ryanair, but I think it'll go to the Queen Mother, so it might be a no chance this. Elfab for the Ryanair, Energamine for the Queen Mother, Marine National for the Arkle, It's For Me for the Ballybor, and T-Upu for the Stayers.
No chance.
No chance.
No chance.
A 20p bet.
Realistic.
A 20p bet here, Mr. Bandit. 20p. To return. How much do you think it returns off 20p?
It took me about 80,000.
Oh, you're just short. 118. Now listen, I think this has actually got a bit of a chance, this. This has actually got a chance. A Dream to Sure for the Supreme, you like that horse?
Yep.
You've tipped it tonight. Constitutional for the Arkle.
Yep.
Tipped that tonight, haven't you?
Yep.
Imperial Pass for the Champion Hurdle.
Yep.
Tipped that tonight, haven't you?
Yep.
Right. Galloping the Shop for Gold Cup.
Yep.
Facile Vega for the Turners.
Slight chance.
Alloa for the Ryanair.
Yep.
Marie's Rock for the Stayers.
Slight chance.
Now, would you swap it? Would you want the bookie to give you 20p back, or would you have it on?
I put my own 20p on that.
There you go, Mr. Bandit. That's what we like to hear. You get 20p off the bookie, get them going. Bookies will be looking at it thinking, bloody hell, this one's standing us 3 million here. Let's find... Let's find... I think it's got quite a decent chance. Let's have a look at a real Fantasyland one. This is a yank, actually, this, that I've put on here. 42 grand it is, off 14 quid. I think I had 14 quid in some sort of free bets somewhere. 42 grand off 14 quid, right? A yank. Facile Vega for the Arkle. Got a chance.
Yes, chance, yeah.
Gallimacor for the Meuse.
Slight chance.
Free car Bragg for the National Hunt.
Slight chance.
In the Pocket for the Turners.
I'll take that bet.
You'd stand it, would you? Hey, we'll put a note here. Bandit stands it. We'll remind you of that. Let's have a look here. We'll finish off. I'll tell you what, here we go. This is one to finish the show off on. Here's one to finish the show off on. 25p, Mr. Bandit, on a sixfold. How much do you think it might return?
Well, off your form, about 150.
Oh, you're miles out. You're miles out. 961,000. If it goes in, I'll give you the 61,000. How about that?
I don't think you give 61,000 to anybody.
So, I mean, the Bandit does have a few of these, but above it, you can see there's a £1 bet for £285. So, we do like to have a few Fantasyland ones. In fact, I think some of these horses came from Mr. Cheltenham time, or somebody like that, who watches the show. Good Land for the Brown Advisory.
Yeah.
20-1. T Hoopoo for the Stayers.
Yeah.
Marine National for the Turners. Alloa for the Ryanair.
Yeah.
State Man for the Champion Hurdle.
Yeah.
Edward Stone for the Queen Mother.
I think Edward Stone's going to you there. It's a good horse, Edward Stone, but it's a horse I just can't back.
But it has beat Enigmine, hasn't it? It has beat Enigmine, but
it's done very well. But I don't think it's got that class basically.
For Cheltenham, I think it's a horse what just doesn't do it at Cheltenham.
It's a good horse, but I don't know. It's one I won't be backing.
Yeah, in fact, there's a few horses like that where you've got to watch out for. Cheltenham form is always something to go off. I said it to one of the commenters. I've lost a ton of money on Dino Blue, and I think it's one of them horses what just can't win at Cheltenham. And maybe that's the same for Edward Stone. We'll have to look into it as it actually won at Cheltenham. I'm sure we might get a few comments for that. In fact, let's have a little look now. Has it won at Cheltenham? Oh, there you go. Let's have a look. Edward Stone.
Queen Mother, I think. Not last time before. Did you win that?
We'll soon find out. There's that many years and horses all blows into one. Came second in 2023. In January, 5th at Cheltenham, the main meeting. Won in 2022. Sorry, yeah.
I can remember because I was very surprised that it won that race.
Won by 4.5 lengths as well.
Yeah, it won well.
Yeah, but it's run a few times. I'm looking now. It's had quite a few runs at Cheltenham and only won that once. So yeah, well, anyway, the Bandits put it in a bet. So. Get on it. So yeah, we'll end on that. £1 million bet for you. Don't get that every day. You don't get that on most shows, do you? But there's some £200 bets. There's some £2.5 grand. There's some 15 grand. For Mr. Bandit want to pay off the mortgage with the bookies' money. As always, what do we say? Spread bet responsibly with the bookies' money and get on it with the Bandit. Any further comments before we end the show, Mr. Bandit?
No, that's enough for tonight.
I mean, we said it was going to be quite a relaxed show. I think it was more relaxed than usual, but we still got quite a few horses out of people, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right, well, we'll see you on an episode coming soon. If you think there's content from the Bandit now, it's 1st of August. We're excited for Cheltenham. There's tons more to come, people. Remember, get on it with the Bandits.